Welcome to Physical Computing with the Microbit Lesson 2. In this video, we're going to explore the Mu editor as our IDE for programming the microbit. And as our first Hello World type program, we're going to see how we can turn on the LEDs, scroll some text, and show some images. So let's get to it. So I'm opening up my Mu editor. Again, in an earlier video, it was demonstrated how to install the Mu editor and also how to connect to your microbit. So I'm going right into code. So I'm going to delete that comment, no need for it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to import the microbit library and all the functionality that's contained in it. You're going to find that when you work with physical computing, there's typically some kind of endless loop so that your device is constantly executing some code. Now, because our code might execute a little faster than the hardware can handle, we're going to introduce a small delay using the sleep function. So this is going to sleep for, actually, if we bring it back out, it should probably tell us, 1 millisecond. So it's not even a whole lot, but it's enough just for the program to pause, allowing the hardware to kind of catch up if it needs to do something. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work with the display object. And once you type the word display, hit a period, you're going to get some of the options that you can do with this. So we're going to work with the set pixel. And as you can see here, it's giving us a hint as to how to work with it. So we're going to turn on one of these LEDs, and they're listed from 0, 0, all the way down to the very last position, which I believe is 4, 4. Again, we're going to explore that. All right, so let's start off with the first one, 0, 0. So that's going to be the top left corner. And then the third number is how bright to make that neopixel. Now, I'm going to keep using the word neopixel only because of my experience with another board. But they're really just LEDs, which means they're always going to be red. The only thing you could kind of change is its brightness. So let's do that. And while we're here, let's just kind of do a couple more so we kind of explore how this works. So we're going to work on a diagonal. So I'm going to turn this to, let's say, 7. We'll do 2, 2 at 5. We'll do 3, 3 at 3. That worked out nicely. And then we'll do 4, 4 at a strength of 1. So let's see what that looks like. So we got to save the program, and I'm going to create a file in my microbit folder just to keep everything organized. Let's call it lesson 2. And you know what? While we're here, let's just do it as 2A. And let's go ahead and save it. And now, in order to upload our program, we're going to click on the button called Flash. Now, what you'll see here is at the very bottom, it says copied code onto microbit. But when you look at the microbit, there's nothing there. So sometimes what happens when you upload the program, you'll have to reset your board. So on the back side, next to that little yellow LED, there's a little button. That's the reset button. Again, the first couple of times you might have to flip it over just to know that you press on it, but eventually what you'll notice is that it's right next to the USB cable. So if you simply click the reset button, and there it is. So I want you to make a connection between what you see on the camera and what the code is. So notice this is position 0, 0, and it's the brightest one. That has the strength of 9. And then as you slowly go down, 1, 1, it's a little less bright. 2, 2, which is smack in the middle. That's about half the strength of the first one, and then it keeps going down. To me, this almost kind of feels like a comet, and because this one's the brightest, it actually looks bigger. But honestly, all these LEDs are the same size. So it's just the idea that the brightness kind of gives the illusion that the first one's bigger. All right, so there's a whole lot you can do with this in terms of manipulating all the neopixels on the screen. But let's explore something else we can do. And for this, let's go ahead and create a new one. And I'm just going to copy our basic loop over with our import And we're not going to play with the set pixel. We're going to explore one of the other ones. So for this one, we're going to explore the scroll function. And the scroll function, as the name implies, allows us to scroll some text. I'll allow you to kind of, on your own, read some of these extra parameters that you can specify. But I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to say, hello. All right, so let's do the same thing here. Let's go ahead and save this one. And we'll save this one as lesson 2B. And let's go ahead and flash it. So recall, I just flashed it. It says copied code, but we still see the other one. Let's go ahead and reset the board. And there you go. There's the word hello scrolling. Now, I'll tell you, you have to be at a little bit of a distance away from the microbit to be able to read it. So the fact that my camera is showing the microbit very small allows you to kind of really see the word hello. If you're really close to the microbit, it might be a little hard to read. So again, just something to know. And again, you'll get that experience when you actually play with this. All right, the other thing that we can kind of do that's cool with the microbit is to display an image. So let's go ahead and copy this basic code again. Let's create a new file. And let's call this one C. And again, we're going to erase the scroll. Again, everything we're doing in this lesson has to do with the display being the LEDs. And for this one, we're going to use the show. So the show accepts an image. So I'm going to kind of jump gears a little bit here in that I'm going to say image dot, and let me see, what do we have available to us? Let's do happy. And then I'm going to show you where you can kind of get some of these constants that we're going to play with here in this lesson. All right, so the code's copied. Let's go ahead and reset the board. And there you go. So what the microbit library has, it has an image class with already a bunch of pre-made images, which are really just LEDs, lit up in a certain order. So again, to me, that kind of looks like a happy face. Now I'm gonna take a stab. I'm pretty sure there's one that says sad. So let's take a quick look at that one. Save it. Let's flash it. Again, we'll have to reset the board. So this was our happy, and that's our sad. All right, so you might be wondering, well, where do you get all these constants? How do you know these constants? So again, there's a lot of good resources out online. And I had the link. Let's see if it pops up. Microbit documentation, and there we go. So again, if you go straight to the Microbit documentations, you can learn about all the things that you can do with MicroPython, which is the version of Python that's being used here to communicate with the microbit. But to kind of explore what I just showed you. So if you click on images on this documentation, you'll see all the pre-made, different things that you have. So I'm kind of curious. Let's actually look at Pac-Man. We'll do one more, and then we're going to explore something else. So let's go ahead and flash that. Let's pull the camera up, and let's see what the Pac-Man looks like. Okay, that's not too bad. I kind of see the mouth, kind of left a little dot open for the eyes. So again, you're more than welcome to use some of these pre-made images that are part of this. Or what we could do, we can actually create our own images. And I'm just gonna, actually no, I have it here. I know I had it somewhere because I don't want to type it again. And I'll explain to you what we're doing with this example. So as to not delete that code, I'm just going to comment it out. And I'm going to put this here. So another version of using the image class is to I'm going to use some fancy words here, is to instantiate another image object where you specify the strength of each of the neopixels. So you kind of see here there's 5 numbers across, there's 5 rows down. That exactly mimics the number of LEDs that are on here. So using this format, you can quickly kind of, draw these different things. So let's upload this one. Or, let's take a quick look. So looking at this, the LED that's in the middle is going to be the strongest, and then they're going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. So hopefully it's going to feel like almost like a star in the middle where, it kind of shines out. And there you go. So again, oops, there's a whole lot you can do with the NeoPixels just by getting creative with the strength of the lights and the positioning of which NeoPixels, which LEDs are turned on. All right. So let's go back to our presentation. Let's review what we've done. So in this lesson, we introduced the Mu editor. It's a great editor specifically made to work with the Microbit. It already has the library installed. Again, it has an easy button that you can click to upload your program. As a way to kind of explore how to program the Microbit, we messed around with the LEDs. We saw how we can turn individual LEDs on. We saw how we could scroll text. And we saw we can show images by just turning on the proper LEDs. There's some pre-images already loaded up into the Microbit library, or we can specify our own images. So hopefully you're excited about working with the LEDs, and enjoy.